Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to go through the cave tiny home that I created on stream a few months ago, and I'm going to provide some voiceover to guide you through my creative process. So this cave tiny home was inspired by a cave in Assassin's Creed Rogue called Terra. So I'll just show a bit of gameplay from Assassin's Creed so you can see the North Atlantic landscape. It's very cold and snowy, but this cave provides a bit of a secluded escape from what's otherwise quite a harsh landscape. Now, prior to going into this cave, there's a bit of like a 18th century styled home, which was the inspiration for the home that I've actually put inside of a cave. And then to the side of that home is a pathway which winds into the cave, and it opens up into this larger landscape. And you can see the inspiration here, where I've got a waterfall coming down, there's different stone structures and the rock cave paintings. So as always, I've taken a little bit of creative liberty when I've made my version and made it a bit smaller so that I can fit the whole idea into the build. So I decided to build in the Glimmerbrook neighborhood because that sort of looked like the closest starting landscape to North America with those pine trees, and it had a sort of forest atmosphere to it. So I've been able to create a cave that's sort of nestled amongst this forest. And what's a little bit different from the Assassin's Creed source is that this can be played in summer as well, so you can appreciate and enjoy that beautiful forest environment. But in Rogue, as well as the cold Arctic, you can go to some towns and landscapes which are more summery and more foresty. So that's why I wanted to be able to capture both of those landscapes in the one build with the ability to switch between them using the weather machine. Now, you probably won't believe looking at what I'm wearing, but it's actually summer here in Australia. The temperature can change here quite drastically. One day it'll be 40 degrees and the next day halved to 20 degrees. It's as if there's someone working in the shadows with their own weather machine here. Feels like we change seasons between summer and winter in one day here sometimes. That's Australia for you. So in The Sims here, instead of putting Shay Patrick Cormac, I've just imported a Lara Croft from the more recent games into this build, and I've also got Minerva from the Realm of Magic game pack there too.
I'll be there.
So I just started off trying to make the tiny home, but technically it's classed as a small home only because I had to put some more tiles down the back of the lot. So that's actually put the count up, even though the house technically would be classed as a tiny home otherwise, I think. Now I've taken from Rogue the basis but made it a bit smaller and compact to fit on this lot, and there's a few main features I want to highlight here. I suppose this is like an estate of a wealthy sim who has the money to pay for entertainment. So your sims will be able to sit next to the water with the waterfall coming down, light a fire to be cozy from the cold winter, and meanwhile up on the ledge where I've used the terrain tool, they'll be able to hire entertainers to come and play the violin or the guitar for your sims to enjoy. What's not really true to the time is that I've actually put electronic lights there. But that's just to give the look of a stage show. But the torches, they are true to the time. You can light them with oil, probably whale oil. Back then they did a lot of hunting, which now we know is not completely ethical, and we've got other sources of fuel for lighting these days. I also put a few little treasures to replicate from Assassin's Creed. Like you'll see on the stage area, there's a platform with a little totem on top. It sort of looks like Indiana Jones as well. And beneath the stage area, I've created a little alcove where your sims can sit in this little mini cave and look out over the water. Next to the waterfall, I've put a few little murals which give the look of the cave paintings or markings which were in Assassin's Creed Rogue, and you could scan those with your eagle vision. Now looking back on this build, it looked quite complex to make. I looked at the finished product and I was a bit surprised how I even got there, so looking back through the speed build helped me to see my process once again. But basically I planned out roughly where I wanted each section and then just gradually tried building and troubleshooting, and over time it just grew and grew, and even when I finished the stream I actually hadn't covered the entire cave with rocks. It was still open to the elements, and just before filming this I've gone back and actually finished that off. As with all builds, it just takes stages over time and became the finished final build you see. Now, integral to this build were a few mods which I will link in the description so you can check those out. The first one being Twisted Mexi's Better BuildBuy mode, which does open up the catalog to the debug items without having to search through a whole list of unsorted debug items. He's actually changed the code of the game so you can choose the categories and those debug items will show up sorted just like any other normal Maxis item. Also allows you to clone the items without having to go back through the entire catalog just to find that one rock that you need. So that was a great big help. And then the second one that he created is the tool mod. Now the tool mod is a little bit trickier to use because you have to use it in live mode instead of build mode, but it's very helpful because you can actually cause items to go outside of the lot restrictions, and so I was able to get those rocks on the perimeter of the lot to encircle the whole build. It is a bit fiddly to use because you have to keep re-entering different values to keep changing the rotations, and it takes a lot of troubleshooting, to be honest. But in order to achieve what I wanted to do here, I just had to use it because I could rotate rocks which normally stand upright to become horizontal or a little bit curved. I could scale those rocks up larger or smaller depending on where I needed to place those, and I even could move the sprinklers up to create an illusion of a waterfall coming down. So I wanted to maintain that classic 18th century style in the home, and so I've put a lot of classic paintings and furniture and decorations which capture that style. Now because this home is built in a cave, the rocks actually come through the ceiling a little bit, which helps with that feeling that you are indeed in a cave. But I would say that if you were living in this home, it'd be quite cramped or cozy depending on how you look at it. But if you did feel like you needed more space, you can always go out, walk through the garden path into the cave behind the house. That's got some more open space and a lot of entertaining features. The floor plan is quite simple, entrance to a warm fireplace out of the cold, and then it splits off into almost mirrored rooms. And I've created a green and then a red bathroom. On the right when you enter is the master bedroom with a fold down Murphy bed, which took a lot of testing to get that to be usable. I even married Lara and Minerva because I thought they weren't sleeping in the same bed because they weren't a couple, but that didn't actually change it at all. It was some bug with the bed, I can't remember. It took me like an hour just to get that right. Anyway, it's a bit cramped, but I managed to make it playable so that you can pull the Murphy bed down, you've got a TV there, you've got a little study in the corner, and hopefully it's a little bit cozy. And on the left we've got the guest bedroom. Pretty simple design. So in the summertime the entrance path into the cave is lined with a lot of beautiful flowers, but in winter it's mostly just snow. So once you walk through that narrow path, your Sims will be surprised as it suddenly opens up into this grand cave space. I've also created an elevated viewing area for the entertainment, as from the fireplace to look up you can't exactly see the musicians. So I've put some couches there to make it comfy, and you can look out opposite right to the musicians and also look down to see your friends sitting next to the fireplace. And then finally, tucked a little bit further away in the corner is the weather machine. So if you don't like winter, you don't like the cold, your Sim can use this and change it to summer and enjoy the beautiful summer sun and the lush plant life of the area. You'll notice if you change it to summer, around some of the little gaps in the cave rock wall, I've added in some hanging ivy and flowers. Maybe the sun will stream through some of those cracks as well. But just be warned, if you don't want to end up like Lara, maybe make sure your Sims have level 5 handiness first. Or you could just cheat this skill level like I did using the MC Command Center mod. I think you had to shift click on the laptop to access that menu. And you might notice a little flower corner there too. And then, where do these stairs lead? Well, There's a little hidden treasure chest down the end if your Sims want to store any valuables they might have collected, or perhaps in Assassin's Creed there would have been some treasure for Shay to collect there too. Now personally I prefer the summer location, but I do appreciate the versatility of being able to change between seasons at will, because sometimes it's nice to put the fire on and enjoy some cozy live entertainment. So there you have it, the Terra cave from Assassin's Creed Rogue with a tiny home built in The Sims 4. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and seeing the speed build process unfold. If you do like to download this build, you can always check it out in my Sims 4 gallery. I'll put in the description the details of how you can download that one. If you enjoyed, please give me a like and comment down below of your thoughts. And if you want to be notified every time there's a new video, make sure to subscribe and click on that bell icon. So I'll just put a little slideshow here at the end so you can see some photos of the completed build. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!